Welcome yet again to another episode. We have just a few moments to look at a page. This page is new to me, but we're going to look at it through the lens of the customer. We do that with something we call the conversion index. Most of you are familiar with it. C equals 4M plus 3V plus 2I minus F minus 2A. Seems like a lot of complicated science or math, but it is not. It's a simple heuristic to help us think clear. C stands for the probability of conversion. M stands for the motivation of the user. V stands for the clarity of the value proposition. I stands for incentive. F stands for friction. And A stands for anxiety. Now, thinking fast about those key elements, let's work sort of backwards, starting on the negative side of that equation with anxiety and friction. Friction comes in the form of length and difficulty. Let's look at the page and see if there might be some length friction. As I scroll down, remember I'm trying to absorb the page so that I can understand the page. What's happening is the page is composed of boxes and images with various lines like these brands across it, and then continues to unfold left, right, and on and on. This is already demonstrating friction because I start to feel a sort of psychological resistance inside. That resistance comes from wondering what I'm missing. I don't quite understand how to make sense of the page or the offering. When that occurs, I'm stuck to make meaning. If I get too uncomfortable, I sort that out by clicking on the little arrow at the top of the page and I leave. So you don't want me to do that. You need to make this page easier for me to understand. You might use language like, there are 3 ways to shop here at XYZ. That sort of thinking helps lay a track in my mind for the content that comes next. Now, I like the fact that you have a headline and a subheader. That helps to sort of ease me into what's going to happen, but it's the wrong headline. I don't understand how a pocket and shine connect. Front pocket wallets. I don't know what that is, but I can guess, and it's intriguing. Front pocket wallets that let you shine. How in the world can a pocket or a wallet in my pocket let me shine? It's that sort of glib statement that is so frequently used in agency world. And I'm not anti-agency, I'm just anti-cliche, hype, or any other sort of clever gimmick that doesn't actually make meaning and use my time in a respectful way. I do like a lot more the subheader. Enjoy the rich leather from the renowned leather districts of Tuscany, Italy, with the passionately handmade minimalist wallets of Axess. I don't know where Axess is or if Axess is a brand, and if I did, it's got a bad name because it's going to be very hard for me to find that remembered or type it into a search engine. Nevertheless, that's the name you have, so you must go with it, I understand, but I'd be careful about how I used it in this particular sentence. And then I see AI Wallets. What I haven't seen is a reason why I should only shop here. What I haven't seen is what's unique about you. I haven't seen any reason that would distinguish you from all the other options I have for purchasing a wallet. I know you have a money-back guarantee. That's nice, but I'm not even interested in buying yet. I see that you have fast and secure shipping, but that only matters again when I'm interested in buying. Best price assurance, you're starting to get somewhere with that. But the problem with that is it just doesn't actually give me enough information to trust it. When I roll over with my mouse, maybe you could give me information about that. Better yet, you could turn these into 3 bullet points up at the top underneath your subheader that gives me a reason to stop and shop. And then you could show me with a simple headline a clear and easy way to make sense of the site. If this is a home page, and I think it is, then you have a double job here. It's like the front door of a house. Your job is to get me into the house and show me which room is the room that's best for me. Where should I go? That way you utilize your nav and clarity to help me get a sense of comfort. One form of friction that we so often miss is confusion. And there's a lot of confusion associated with the design and layout of the site. And so we've talked about friction. Enough friction, and you may actually trigger anxiety, but friction and anxiety are different. Anxiety is a sort of psychological concern. And that only occurs when I start to feel threatened by something. And I don't know right now, my anxiety builds just from the fact that I'm not sure what to do or how much there is. So I'm going to go back up and I'm going to try to find that see all wallets and see if nav pops up that's easier for me to understand. The first thing that comes is I see handmade in Tuscany leather. And there's some value there, but I certainly don't see all wallets. In fact, I have no nav yet. It just says featured or view as, And so I'm still wondering, what is it I'm missing? How do I make sense of the site? Maybe I just look at these pages and just keep nabbing through them until I see a wallet that I like. I'm not sure, but I will tell you that there's too much friction. There's the potential anxiety, and at this point there's no incentive, which leads us to V in that heuristic, the clarity of the value proposition. I won't touch motivation because I don't have data access. I don't know the metrics, but I can tell you that I don't understand the value proposition. Here I start to see something. You know, full grain Tuscany vegetable tan leather. But you know something? There's other places I can get nice leather. And I don't know what the difference is between Tuscany leather and leather I might get somewhere else. It's a nice name, and everyone loves Italy, and Tuscany in particular, but that's not enough. If I am the ideal customer, why should I purchase from you rather than any of your competitors? It's not clear. And certainly telling me about myself somehow shining doesn't answer the question. Now, I don't mean this in a harsh way, but I mean it in the way of a busy customer who doesn't have time and won't give you time. They're inundated with 77 new messages a day, and if you don't make meaning on this page for them, they're not going to stop. Most of them won't be motivated enough to stop and make meaning on their own. So, friction. Friction comes from the length of the page. Friction comes from the layout of the page. Friction comes because there's no iPath. Anxiety, we don't know yet. Probably we're going to trigger that later in the purchase process. There is no incentive that I can see, and you don't always have to have incentive, but it is a way to tilt value in the fulcrum on the side of, more rather than less. However, most of all, the number one problem with this page, the value proposition is not clear.